The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. Get involved with Access Fort Wayne and make your own television programming. Call 421-1250 to find out more.
You're up before dawn because you know that the work needs done, and you're the one to do it. It's not a job. It's not a chore. It's a way of life. The American way of life. At American Landmaster, we believe in that way of life because we're living it too. We aren't importing pieces and parts to simply bolt together. We're bending, welding, powder coating, and assembling here among the cornfields of Indiana with domestic steel, employing the American worker, and using American components more often than not. Because we care about the American way of life and don't want to see it disappear. It's not always easy. There's good years and there's bad. There's aches and pains, and some days you question why you do it. But every morning you beat the sun to breakfast to do it all over again. As long as you do that, we'll be here, doing all we can to make your life easier.
Yeah, what's going on out there? So the difference between Landmaster and a Polaris and a Can-Am. So we're not in power sports, number one, but all of our tubing and our frames, we bend our own tubing, we weld our own frames.
Oh.
So, you know, everybody else kind of gets it made and brought in, or we do all that kind of in-house here.
So you do most of your stuff here mostly?
We do everything here in-house.
Wow.
So all of our steel, our heavy gauge tubing, our steel, that's all local here. Every bit of the unit is for the most part local. There's some stuff that we'll get from overseas, but
Right.
small percentage. So we have a fab and a weld shop. We powder coat, we paint our own frames. We'll do all the assembly on out the door.
Wow.
So we have an L3, L4, L5, an L7, and then we have an electric we call the amp. Fully electric, it also has four-wheel drive, so we have non-four-wheel drive models and we have four-wheel drive as well. So yeah, so this is it. So all of manufacturing is here. This is our final assembly area. I'll come back to this. Most of this is fairly new. We've gotten this, it's all been kind of refreshed in the last 6 months. So our light tunnel's new, and we're doing more and more of this. This is more of a quality control station, but we'll build, we'll final, we'll put the hood on, the windshield, all of the decals, and then quality will final QC check here. And we'll do one more final QC check before the truck comes, before we load it on the truck. We sell West Coast, East Coast, North, South, and then we also sell to international customers. Middle East, surprisingly. They really love American made. It's crazy. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Caribbean, and it's mainly customers who want to replace their golf cart fleet with an upgraded vehicle. So final assembly into shipping. We can do really a couple things. We allow our customers just to pick up, or we just ship straight to the dealer network. And we have about 200 dealers nationwide today. When we ship to them, they do the final assembly, the bed, the fenders, and the bumper. So they'll do that part. If we're picking up, we'll do a full assembly lane here, and we can pick up. We really don't charge too much extra for that. So we make our own plows. It's a winch-driven plow or an electric plow.
Wow.
Actuated electric plow. So you can control that from the cab. But we make our own plows, and we do have a full enclosure. I use a unit to plow. I live in Angola, so in the country, you know, I typically have somebody plow. Last year I started plowing all on my own for the first time using an amp. So works really well, surprisingly a really good plow. You wouldn't think it, but it actually does a really good job. So
Oh, that's awesome.
so for us, again, the difference is all of our heavy gauge steel tubing that we bring in. So we're the only manufacturer that makes a fully welded frame with a steel bottom and a steel firewall. So if you're driving along, let's say you hit a tree, you're just going crazy and you're going nuts out there, you plow through a tree, instead of that tree going, if it was plastic, it would go through the firewall. So Polaris Cam, they have a plastic firewall. It'll go through the firewall and it'll come straight through, so there's safety concern there. Ours are fully steel. So it'll dent, it'll slightly impact, but it won't go through. So that's the difference between Landmaster, some of the competition. We bring all that steel in, and what we do is we'll bend. We have a left and right bender in our fab shop here. So we'll bring all that in, and depending on the model, the make, what the customer wants to buy, we'll bend all the left and the right angles. We'll punch all the holes, and then it'll go on into weld, to be welded into a full frame. So it's all customized, made to order. So if you buy something today, you place your order, it's highly customized. Any accessory, color, configuration you like, electric, gas, whatever the case. Standard, and then a crew. The moment you place it, it's all custom order. Whereas everybody else is, for the most part, standard build, and then they will accessorize after the fact, right? So as that order comes in, we bend the left and right angles, all the subs that make up our frame, and any of the accessories for the unit as well. So that's fab, a left and a right bender, and then we also punch all the holes in that tubing. for mounting hardware as well, right? That will come into weld. So again, we have our own fabrication team from the ground up. You take, tubing and you turn that into a frame. The weld team will take those bent sub-assemblies. You can see they'll bend, punch for all the hardware, and they'll start the welding process for the frame and any other accessories that go into the unit. So the weld team is developed into different teams, and then we have our full frame welding over here. What they'll do is they'll take all those subs, including a firewall. We buy the firewall, and they'll place all of those different subs, those bent angles, in a jig, in a fixture, and they'll weld up the entire frame. They'll tack weld it, and then they'll finish welding the entire frame, and then they'll take it out of that jig fixture. So that's the difference with Landmaster and everybody else. Everybody else gets that pre-ordered from a supplier. And some of that frame can be plastic, where we're fully heavy gauge steel, every aspect of it. And it's a full frame, fully welded, one piece, not 2 or 3 pieces bolted together. So that's the big difference. So if you did, let's say, run over a tree, God forbid you hit a tree, something like that. Competition, the frame will warp and it will bend, whereas an impact with this frame, it's safer, and you're not going to damage the entire frame. You may do some damage, but it will keep you safe in the process. Other frames will actually come apart as they're bolted together, so depending on what you hit and what you do with it, if you're going 90 miles an hour in your unit, right? You could scrap the unit based on whatever damage you do to it. So here, the frame will be more than likely fine, and then we've got to replace some other shocks, some half shafts, whatever the case is, which makes it easier to do. So what they'll do is they'll weld up this entire frame. We'll do all the bumpers, we'll do all the accessories. So we offer 2 different bumpers, a standard bumper and an HD bumper. The HD bumper just has a light in it. It's got a light bar. So we do all of that. We do all our enclosures. We weld all those frames here. And then for the frames themselves, we will fully weld the frame. Right? And they'll tack weld it, finish weld it. They'll do the entire process here. It'll go through a final QC check, right, to make sure it meets all criteria there. But you can see every angle, every sub-assembly gets welded into one frame. This is a crew. This would be just a standard unit with no rear seats. We'll do all that here, go through QC check, and then it's ready to go on and be painted. So whatever color. We offer tan, green, and black. And then we also have colors silver, red as well. Red for plow, silver for dash. Dash color we matched for color of the frame. So you can do a tan or a green dash there if you like. So, again, electric, gas, standard crew, whatever the configuration, all made to order. What we try to do is, there's some methodology behind this for inventory control. Right? So we use a Kanban system for that. It's a pull system. As your order comes in, we build, we pull the inventory, and we replenish that inventory as we pull it. So it's a way to control our inventory that way. So, where do you both work at, by chance?
I work for Skypoint Social Services.
So we just shot a video through Granger. It's on YouTube. Now, it shows kind of what we do here, the ins and outs, kind of what we're going through now. So we're trying to do more of that, so I'm glad you're here. So I appreciate that.
I could give you my business card in case you ever...
No, that's great. I want to give you mine too. So what we'll do now is it'll go into production, into an inventory location. So this is more of our Kanban system here. What happens is as the internal customer pulls it, powder coat, they pull, they'll take this Kanban card and they'll post it for replacement. Right? So it's more of a lean manufacturing mindset to control inventory and ensure that we only work on the things our customers need when they need it. Right? So yeah. So what we'll do then is we'll put it into an inventory system. I'll walk you through here. out to the floor. Similar setup. It'll go into an inventory location here, Kanban. So as the order comes through, let's say you order a gas crew unit, takes this frame. What the powder coat team will do is as they get that request, they'll pull this frame. They'll take that card, they'll post it for the weld shop to build another. They'll build it, and once it's built, it'll come right back to this location again. It's a pull system. We pull what we need, when we need it, as orders come in. They'll take this frame, let's say it's a standard black configuration. They'll hang it on the powder coat line. So they'll come over. They'll hang it on the powder coat line. And the line is consistently moving all day, all long. As orders come in and as replenishment has to happen, they'll hang it and it'll start the process of coming through the powder coat line. It'll go through 5 stages of washer, just like a car wash. It's essentially an alkaline rinse. They'll use a standard just dirty water rinse. The very end is an RO water rinse. It's clean water. They'll rinse it all off. It'll go through a big 400-degree oven. And we don't have any furnaces in here. We use those 2 ovens to heat this entire building. So we have a first stage bake. We'll bake off all the moisture. What that does, essentially, when they go to powder coat is charged, that frame is essentially grounded. And powder coat is attracted to the frame. If we didn't charge the frame, powder coat would just fall off and it wouldn't attach to anything. So it'll go through that process. They'll bake off all the moisture. We can walk around, I'll show you. And the line will consistently move all day for every different piece of the unit that we put together. This happens to be just a dash accessory switch interface. You'll see that. So it will come through. It'll go into the 5 stages of wash. All the way through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right? And that is to get off any oil residue from the weld process, any dirt that might be on the frame, anything like that. Can't go into the powder coat process with a dirty frame. The powder coat will not adhere and it just won't paint. So it'll come through, it'll go through all 5 stages. Again, alkaline. You've got rinse. You've also got another rinse cycle here. Conversion coating and then RO water. So by the time this comes out of the oven, it's a charged frame. The oven 400 degrees, and then as it comes out, it's baked off. So you can see some of the discoloration. That's just part of that baking process. It'll come all the way through the line into our powder coat booth. So at that point, the team knows exactly what needs to be painted, what color. It's a manual spray booth. We're going to be upgrading this to an automated spray booth soon. It'll come through this process. They will paint in the color that the customer wants, and it's a quick changeover. Usually it's a few minutes. They'll spray powder coats, and you can see this one here. This is a tan frame. So they powder coated this entire frame. That powder coat is loose. It's like a powder. So to get that powder coat to stick to the frame, it has to be charged so that there's adhesion. It'll go through another oven, 400 degrees, and they'll bake that powder coat onto the frame. Depending on the type of powder coat will give you the finish, like a flat finish or a shiny finish. Real Craft down the road, they do the air and the liquid hose reels. They do a similar process, but their finish is shiny. So you'll see a very similar process. So it'll come out here after it's baked. These are some of our crew steel roofs. They're standard black. They'll come out and they'll go through a cool down process, right? So after the cool down process, watch your head there. From the time it comes out through the oven all the way around is just enough time for the product to cool down. This is an HD bumper, so you'll have a light bar in that bumper. Right? It'll come through. It'll cool down enough to where the team can take it off the line and it can go into inventory. These are just some dash interfaces. Again, silver, tan, green. Whatever the color of the frame is, we usually try to match that up. You could order any color configuration you like. It could be a black dash interface, green frame, it could be anything you like. So from the point the order comes in, highly customized, all the way through the manufacturing process. So we keep Kanban inventory levels of specific frames. So you have the raw welded frames, but now you have the painted frames. So again, as the order comes through, they'll pull for your order. That Kanban card triggers the replenishment process. They'll pull the raw frame, and then that trigger goes back to weld to replenish. That trigger then goes into fabrication to produce more. So it's a physical pull process. We only pull what we need when we need it, and we just kind of keep our inventory stable that way. So we try to keep one on hand of each. 17 different variations of frames between standard, gas, electric, crew. We also have a Rover model that competes with the John Deere Gator. You know the John Deere Gator? It's a work model. It doesn't have an overhead, a rot. It's open, but like golf courses will use them, things like that. So we have a Rover frame that we keep here as well. So that starts the actual assembly build process. Once the order comes through, it's just a blank frame. There's nothing on it. So ground all the way up, and you can see every tube, every angle, all welded together. We don't receive those. We do it all ourselves here. Here, starting this process, we'll put the rear end in. They'll put the transmission in for gas, electric, depending, right? So that's all here. The team knows it. They'll know based on order once they scan who the customer is, where it's going. Once they scan, the rest of the line will have visibility to what is coming, right? So again, black, green, tan, whatever the color is, the configuration. This is an electric. It's an amp. It's got a battery. Transaxle for the amp. At this point, the rear end's in, battery goes in. At this point, if it's a gas, the engine will go in here. So they'll put the engine in, 4 variations of engine depending on the model that you've chosen. They'll do all the half shafts, standardized. If you ever go into Polaris, Can-Am, BRP, you'll see a very similar process, right? So at this point, that's in. The amp takes an EV box. It's an electrical control panel, basically. That is in. This is a smaller 105 battery versus that one, which is a 160 battery. Depending on what you want, the range, how much power you want, you can get an upgraded larger battery or smaller. So, brake reservoir, just like your car, no different, right? So they'll start to run all the brake lines. The rear half shafts are in. Shocks, right? These shocks are no different than the kind of shocks you have in your car. Depending on what you're doing and what you want, you can get heavy duty shocks. So you can tow 1,500 pounds, you can pull it, or you can put 500, 1,000 pounds in the bed, and these shocks will handle all of that. So at this point, they'll put A-arms on, corner modules, right, just like your car, rotor, brake pad. We have a spring system for our brake pad against the rotor. Again, all the brake lines are in, drive line goes in. They start to put the front end in as well. At this point, they put the rest of the front end in. Again, half shafts, shocks, you've got more of the suspension system there. The column for the steering, that is in. And they've pretty much got it at a point where they're ready to now fill the brake reservoir, bleed the brakes, so on and so forth. As you can see, all the front quarter modules are on, all the rest of the suspension is in. The brake system is ready to be filled and now fully bled and checked out there. What they do is they'll bring it through, they'll get it to a point here, you can see the dash, where the dash is ready to go in, but again, highly customized. So depending on the accessories you want to order, lights, front winch, plow, you could have 17 different switches in the dash. So what they'll do is, it is a highly customized order, and they have to know what's coming down the line. So as they scan, this cell will know what configuration is due in what order. So they'll put every kind of switch in. These are all lighted switches for whatever the customer wants. This dash goes to that unit. The next dash up would go to that green, the next one behind it, the next one behind it, so on and so forth. So that's what makes this unique, highly customized and not fully standardized in any way. Here what they'll do is they'll take that unit, they'll throw in the configuration of tire that the customer wants. So if you want really knobby gladiator tires, right, rugged, you're in the mountains, whatever you want to do, or street tires. If you're on a golf course and you just need, you're driving on grass, they'll take those tires based on the order, throw them on and do a final QC check here at Station 8. They'll actually turn the unit on and they'll test it functionally, make sure it's all working, and then after they get a green light, it moves on to the rest of the assembly process. So they'll put on the plastics, the surround for the seats, center console, the back half of the dash. They'll put on any other surround to cover the bed of the vehicle. These are all purchased components we buy. So all that is covered. They'll put on seat backs. If it's an electric, they'll put on the interface for the charging system there. All the overheads. And again, we do all that in-house. So we fab, we weld, we paint. Depending on what the customer needs, we'll put all that on here, and then we'll put on the seats as well. So you can choose premium seats or standard seats, either one. Premium are just leather, and they're embroidered. And then standard is just imprinted, basically. So we'll put all that on here. Nets, side nets will go on. Seat belts, standard seat belts you get in your car, they'll go on here as well. And then it's on to alignment and dyno, right? So nobody else in our industry has or uses an alignment station or a dyno. They do it differently. Here, it's very similar to the automotive industry. It's that standard of process. So I'll put on the crew roof here. That crew roof, when it's on, it's essentially ready for alignment. It'll come on. We'll put on all 4 hubs for all 4 tires. So it is a full 4-point alignment. Every hub has to match. So they need 100% alignment before it can move on to dyno. Once it's aligned, they get a green light and they'll move it on. If it doesn't and they're having a tough time with it, they'll move it into more of a regressive flow path where they can go investigate and find out what's going on. All computerized, all tracked. There's plenty of information there for us to go look back upon. Dyno, same concept. They'll hook the unit up. They'll essentially attach it so it doesn't shoot off the dyno. They'll actually turn on the vehicle and drive it. And they'll floor the gas pedal, get full RPMs to work. They want to make sure that there's nothing preventing reaching full RPM, and there's no noise inside, right? Maybe there's something rattling around that we need to hear. This is where we're going to catch that process. They'll get a green light here. Once they get a green light, they'll move on to final assembly that we walked past earlier. We've got a few different options. You can do a standard steel bed, or you can do a poly bed, which is plastic. And then on our Pro models, you can do a 6-foot bed with an electric actuator. You can dump it electrically. Push a switch, it raises it up, and it dumps it for you, that kind of thing. So you can do that here. We, again, powder coat all the sides, the bed. We do all that ourselves. On into the hood configuration. So if you're a hunter, you might want camo. You can get that. Black, blue, red, metallic silver, green, whatever the case is. Again, customized to for the customer. As it comes through, they'll know what the order is, and they'll put on the matching hood for the order. They'll do windshield. You can do fixed windshield, split windshield. There's all kinds of different configurations there. They'll put on the exact windshield the customer wants. Decals. If you want a stereo system, you can do in a crew front speakers, rear speakers. They'll put in the stereo unit itself. Sound bar. You can get a sound bar, any light configuration you want, floodlights, standard bumper, obviously a floodlight in the bumper itself. You can do a work package where you can do a strobe, an orange strobe, or a backup alarm. You can do that as well. After that, we move on to QC check. So what they'll do is they'll do a final QC check here. Under the light tunnel, all the paint has to be intact. There can't be any defects in the paint. Hoods, maybe somebody scratched the hood before or while they were putting it on. There's a full list. We use a software set to go through that. They've got to check everything, make sure it's in pristine condition before it can move into the shipping lane. At that point, the truck is already here and we know where it's going. It'll go West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, wherever the case is. They're ready to load it onto the truck, and depending on that configuration, they'll crate those units. So either take the tires off, put it on a crate base, or they'll drive it on, they'll roll it on. Right? Then it goes on the truck, and it goes on out. So we also do some international shipments. We've shipped to the Caribbean, Middle East. We do a lot of shipments to the Middle East, believe it or not, all over the place there. And that's basically it. We have our own parts department. So as those orders come in, we ship part kits to customers all over the place. We have return signal kits, whatever they want, we'll ship it to them. Typically that's to the dealer, and then the dealer puts in it, right? We have that ability here upon the original order, but as we ship to the dealer, if there's anything after the fact, the dealer will usually put all that together. Okay? All right. So that's basically it. Questions, concerns. Okay. All right. So we.
Burger. Burger, 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 with some French fries. Burger, 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 with some French fries. Burger, 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 with some French fries. Burger, 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 with some French fries.
I like my burger with cheese.
Word.
I like my burger with greens.
I like my burger with queso.
I like my burger with tomatoes.
I like my burger with cheddar.
I think my burger is better.
Why? My burger is better than the rest.
Oh yeah? Tell me why yours is best.
Burgers, all kinds of ways. We like our burgers all in our face. We like our burgers all kinds of ways. If you like burgers, let me hear you say burger. Burger, 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 with some French fries. Burger, 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 with some French fries. Burger, 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 with some French fries. Burger, 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 with some French fries.
I like my burger no cheese.
I like my burger more cheese.
Ew. I like my burger no onions.
Then I guess your burger gets none then.
I like my burger no mayo.
Do you whatever you say so.
Okay. I like my burgers plain.
I think that burger's lame.
Burgers, all kinds of ways. We like our burgers all in our face. We like our burgers all kinds of ways. If you like burgers, let me hear you say burger. Burger, 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 with some French fries. Burger, 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 with some French fries. Burger, 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 with some French fries. Burger, 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 with some French fries.
Yes, yes, y'all. We like our burgers all kinds of ways. You don't gotta follow anyone else. Get your burger the way you want your burger. Alright? Enjoy. Yeah. Don't forget the milkshake.
Yo, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, it's me, Ronnie Boy. Peace.
Burger, 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 burger.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Sandberg Mirages is a guide, our pledge, our motto too. We're always ready, do or die. I constantly fight for you. Up we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sand. Here they come, soon to lead our thunder. And boys, give it the gun. And we dive, starting a flame from under, up with one terrible roar. We live in fame, we'll go down in flame, for nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First we fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor free. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines. Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, the United States
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. I've roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts. And all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. When the sun came shining and I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling, and the fog was lifting, a voice was chanting. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign it said no trespassing. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. That side was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. By the relief office, I've seen my people as they stood there hungry, I stood there asking, is this land made for you and me? Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can ever make me turn back. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me.
For
eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. I've seen him in the watchfires of 100 circling camps. They have built for him an altar in the evening dews and damps. I can read his righteous sentence by the dim and flaring lamps. His day is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His day is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us live to make men free, while God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. While God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. While God is marching
It's like I'm living for the first time. Finally living for the first time. It's like I'm living for the first time. Finally living for the first time. It's like I'm living for the first time. Finally living for the first time. It's like I'm living for the first time. Finally living for the first time. It's like I'm living for the first time. Finally living for the first time. This is what you do. This is what you do. You make me come alive. This is what you do. This is what you do. You make me come alive. This is what you do. This is what you do. You make me come alive. This is what you do. This is what you do. You make me come alive. 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 The more we get together, together, together. Subscribe to us. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are yours.
In the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night light.
Please subscribe to my YouTube, Blue Money Army.
On, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Kink out, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home.